Welcome to my channel where I do homework questions almost every day. Please subscribe. Today we are doing homework through 8.3.1, which was on long division. So it says, Carlos is always playing games with his graphing calculator, but now his calculator has contracted a virus. Likely situation. The trace, zoom, and window functions on his calculator are not working. He needs to solve x cubed plus 5x squared minus 16x minus 14 equals 0. So he graphs y equals x cubed plus 15x squared minus 16x minus 14 and sees the graph below in the standard window. From the graph, what appears to be an integer solution to the graph? Right, so remember these tick marks are the integers, so if it's not hitting a tick mark like these two, right, they're kind of going in between tick marks, then they're not integer solutions. This one here, it looks like this is an integer solution, and then this is the y-axis, so it'll be -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. So x equals -7. So verify that your answer to part A is a solution. So just go ahead and we'll plug it in. -7 cubed plus 5 times -7 squared minus 16 times -7 minus 14. And then you get -343 plus 5 times 49 plus 16 times 7, 112 minus 14. Then that's -43 plus 5 times 49 is 245 plus 112 minus 14. And then, if it is a solution, since this point here is -7, right, that was what we're assuming, then the y value should be 0. If it is a solution, you should get 0. So -4343. Let's go ahead and plug that in my calculator so you can see. Here we go. -343 plus 245 plus 112 minus 14, and you get 0. What do you know? So it is a solution. So since you know a solution to the equation, what is the factor associated with the solution? So if x minus 7, then x plus 7 is the factor. Right, so use your new factor to complete the following equation. X cubed plus 5x squared minus 16x minus 14 equals this. Oh, I skipped D, sorry. So use polynomial division to determine the other factor. So it's x cubed plus 5x squared minus 16x minus 14 divided by x plus 7. Right, so just look at the beginnings again. So x times what is x cubed? X squared, so we put that here in the x squared place. X squared times x is x cubed. X squared times 7 is 7x squared. Then you subtract. And then 5x squared minus 7 squared is -2x squared. Bring down the -16x. And then cover those. X times what is -2x squared? So you need -2 and another x. So then that's -2x squared minus 14x. Subtract them. And then you get -2x. Bring down the -14. And then that's -2. And then -2 times x is -2x minus 14. They both cancel. So you have a remainder of 0, which is what we should get. We should get a remainder of 0, and that should be your. That means that this is divisible by x plus 7. So now use your new factor to complete the following equation. So x plus 7 times x squared minus 2x minus 2 equals 0. So then the other factor leads to two other solutions to the equation. What are the two other solutions? So state all three solutions to the original equation. So that means we need to solve this. It is not factorable, so we need to use the quadratic formula. So negative b would be positive 2 plus or minus b squared, which is 4, minus 4ac all over 2a, which is 2 plus or minus, and then that'd be 4 plus 8, which equals 2 plus or minus, and then 2 root 3 over 2, which is 1 plus or minus root 3. So then all three answers to the original polynomial are negative 7 and 1 plus or minus root 3. So those are gross numbers, which is why they did not intersect here at a tick mark on the graph. Okay, here we go. And now Carlos needs to solve 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 8x plus 3 equals 0, but his calculator will still only create a graph with a standard viewing window. He sees the graph of y equals 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 8x plus 3 crosses at the x-axis at x equals 1. So what are all three solutions? So if he says it graphs at x equals 1, then one of the factors would be x minus 1. So that means that this should be divisible by x minus 1. So let's set up the long division problem. So 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 8x plus 3 is divisible by x minus 1. So then x times 2x squared is 2x cubed, and then 2x squared times negative 1 is negative 2x squared. Then you subtract, and you get 5x squared. Bring down the negative 8x. Then x times 5x is 5x squared. 5x times negative 1 is negative 5x. Subtract them, you get negative 3x. Bring down the 3. And then you get negative 3. So negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 1 is positive 3. And there's 0. So it did work out. And then, so that must mean that 2x cubed plus 3x squared minus 8x plus 3 factors to x minus 1 times 2x squared plus 5x minus 3. Okay, and then we want to see if this factors more, and it does. We'll do that over here. So we'll do area model and diamond. So 2 times 2x squared, that's negative 6x squared, and then so it's 2x squared here, negative 3 here, multiply and put there, and then put the middle term here. And then 6x and negative x multiply to negative 6x squared and add up to 5x. So you put those here. And then 2x times x is 2x squared. X times negative 1 is there, and negative 1 times 3. So that all works out. So then this factors more to x plus 3, 2x minus 1. So it said, what are all three solutions? So they come from here. So the solutions are 1, negative 3, and 1/2. Okay, next page. Okay, so without actually multiplying, decide which of the following nomials could be the product of these three binomials. So justify your choice. Well, the best is just to figure out what the first and last term is. So the first term would be like x times x times x. So the first term will definitely be x cubed, and the last term will be the three numbers together, and that'd be negative 2 times 3 times negative 5, which is 30. So if you look, right, the only one that satisfies both the first and the last term of being x cubed and 30 is C. Okay. Alright, it says consider the equation 5x squared minus 7x minus 6 equals 0 as you complete the parts below. So what are the factors of that? So let's set up our area model in Diamond. So 5x squared goes here, negative 6 goes here. Multiply them, you get negative 30x squared. And then you put negative 7x here. So then negative 10x and 3x, right, they add up to negative 7 and multiply to negative 30. So you put them here. So it's x 5x plus 3 minus 2. So the factors are 5x plus 3 and x minus 2. So what are the solutions? That's if you set each part equal to 0. So you get 2. Subtract 3 from both sides. Divide by 5. Then you get x equals negative 3/5. So how are the solutions to the equation related to the leading coefficient and constant term in the original polynomial? Oh, well, let me get back to that in a second. So this one, which of the following binomials could be a factor of x cubed minus 9x squared plus 19x plus 5? So could be a factor, well, oh, so these ones, these are both like there we go, like this, I figured out what they mean by the question. There's not, it's unfortunately not that very obvious. But if you write this one as 2 over 1, then both, like, the numerator is a divisor, so of negative 6, and the denominator is a divisor of 5. This is the constant and this is the leading coefficient. So that means that, like, any answer, like a over b, a has to divide the constant and b has to divide the leading coefficient. So, like, for instance, like the things that go into 5 are just 1 and 5, and the thing that goes into 1 is just 1. So the only binomials that could be a factor would be this one, because 3, 2, and 2, none of those go into 5. Okay, so it says now divide x minus 3 minus 9x squared plus 19x plus 5 by the factor that you chose. So x cubed minus 9x squared plus 5 divided by x minus 5. So x times x squared is x cubed, and then x squared times negative 5 is negative 5x squared. Then you subtract them, and you get negative 4x squared. Bring down the 19x, and then that's negative 4x gives you negative 4x squared. So then that's negative 4x squared, negative 4x That's 20x. Sorry, I'm kind of running out of room. Okay, and then you subtract them. Hope you don't mind. I'll do like the work over here. So then you subtract them, and then you get negative x, and then you bring down the 5, and then you negative 1 times that is negative x, negative 1 times negative 5, or positive 5, and then you subtract them, and you get your remainder 0. Continued here. So I was right, and so if it is not a factor, reconsider your answer. Well, we did that, so it is a factor. Okay, and then for 8-101, divide each of the following polynomials, p of x by d of x to find the quotient, and then rewrite the polynomial in the form where r is the remainder. Okay, so apparently we'll get some remainders this time. So 2x to the 4th minus x squared plus 3x plus 5. Again, cover these. What times x is 2x 4th? So remember that there is no cube term, so we need to put a plus 0x cubed here. So 2x cubed, and then that's 2x to the 4th minus 2x cubed. Subtract them, and then you get 2x cubed. Bring down the negative x squared. Then that'll give you 2x. And then 2x times x is 2x cubed minus 2x 2x squared, sorry. Squared, and then you get x squared. Bring down the 3x. And then you plus x, and then that gives you x squared minus x. Subtract them. You get 4x. Bring down the 5. And then that gives you 4. And then that gives you, let's kind of continue it here, 4. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. Subtract them, and it gives you a remainder of 9. So this equals x minus 1 times 2x cubed plus 2x squared plus x plus 4 plus your remainder of 9. Okay, I'm trying to write a little smaller this time, or maybe I'll go up here. So here we have x to the 5th, and then write 0x to the 4th minus 2x cubed plus 0x squared plus 0x plus 1. So you got to fill in all the missing place values. Oops, need to write that a little lower. Divided by x minus 3. Okay, x times x to the 4th is x to the 5th. And then x to the 4th times negative 3 is negative 3x to the 4th. Okay, you subtract them, and you get 3x to the 4th. Okay, and then x times 3x cubed gives you 3x to the 4th. So 3x cubed times x, 3x to the 4th. 3x cubed times negative 3 is negative 9x cubed. Subtract them. You get 7x cubed. So x times 7x squared gives you 7x cubed. So 7x squared times x is 7x cubed. And 7x squared times negative 3 is negative 21x squared. Subtract them. You get 21x squared. Bring down the 0x. And you get 21x times x is 21x squared, so 21x squared minus 63x. Okay, and then lastly, that gives you plus 63. So then that gives you 63, bring down x plus 1, and then (63) times negative 3 is negative 189. Then you subtract them, and you get 190. So, then the answer is x minus 3 times x to the 4th plus 3x cubed plus 21x plus 63 plus the remainder of 190. Okay, last page. Sketch the graphs of the following polynomials. Be sure to label the x and y intercepts. Okay, so from here you're going to have x-intercepts. You're going to have 3 x-intercepts. It's going to be 0, negative 5 halves, and 7 halves. Okay, and this is a degree 3 with a positive a value. So, let's see. And then if you plug in 0, your y-intercept is 0. So here's that point right here. And then negative 5 halves is negative 2.5. So right there. And then 3 halves is 3.5. So right there. So there's our sketch. Okay, and then for this one, this is degree 3 as well. And then we have 2 x-intercepts, negative 3, and 15 over 2. And it bounces there. So let's draw that. And then if you plug in 0, you get a ginormous y-intercept. So this is 15 over 2 is 7.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there, the negative 3. So it comes up and then bounces, and this like y-intercept is like 0, 675. It's crazy. Okay, there we go. Alright, log base 10. This is really log base 10 of 10, so that's equal to 1. This is not possible. And then this one, that's log base 10 of 10 to the 1/2. So then that's just 1/2. Remember, these like cancel, and it's whatever this exponent is, so it kind of cancels. Right, log of the same base of the base of the exponent, right, they undo each other. So we'll use that here. So bring up the 27, so that's 10 to the log of 27 to the 2/3. And let's simplify 27 to the 2/3 a little bit. So then really that's the cube root of 27 squared, because this is the same as that. So then that's 3 squared, which is 9. So then that's 10 to the log base 10 of 9. So then those cancel and you get 9. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying my videos. Thank you. Goodbye.